My name is Dan Brightwell. I'm the chairperson for the Southfield Veterans Commission. Today we will be interviewing Mr. Donald O. Wilson for the Veterans History Project. Today is February the 25th, 2009. We're in the Southfield Public Library. Also present in the room today is Ms. Ethel Grossman, a commissioner for the Southfield Veterans Commission. Mr. Felix Selton, also a commissioner for the Southfield Veteran Commissioner. And our camera person is Tim Workus, also a commissioner, and he's the camera person today. Mr. Wilson, could you give me your full name, date, and place of birth?
My name is Donald Otis Wilson. I was born October 8th, 1937 in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay. What branch of service were you in?
Army.
Army. Mm-hmm. Were you drafted or enlisted?
I enlisted at 18 years old.
18? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what were you doing prior to being enlisted?
Well, I was a student, and of course I'd held various jobs the way my generation did. Paper route, I was a door-to-door salesman, a Watkins man, and Boy Scouts, that sort of thing, nothing spectacular.
Okay. So you were primarily a student and you're a
primarily
teenager.
a student.
Okay. When you enlisted, where did you go and how did you enlist, and were you here in the city of Detroit?
Yes, there weren't jobs around at the time. I didn't have money for college, and so I enlisted in the military. I didn't want to do 3 years, so I went down to Fort Wayne. They introduced me to a program called ER, which was Enlisted Reserve. I had never been in the reserve, but that program offered a 2-year tour. So I enlisted for that program. I shipped out from there to basic training at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
Okay. All right. And how did you get to Fort Leonard Wood? Mode of travel?
Bus.
Bus. Okay.
With a lot of other troops, a lot of other new soldiers.
Okay. Well, any of those soldiers, were they any of your friends or guys from the neighborhood or anything?
No, not actually, but some friends had joined with me, but we were not on the same bus, and some went to other posts for basic training.
Okay. All right. So this was in February. So when you got to Fort Leonard Wood, was it fairly cold, and had you been issued your Army gear by that time?
No, once we arrived in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, we were met by drill sergeants who at that time wore the inside of the helmet. It was a helmet liner. There were helmet liners with some insignia on the liner. They were the folks that met us at the bus station and took us on to post and gave us a hard time. And later on that same night, they issued us some clothing and marched us around to various billets until we were processed the next day to various training sites for basic.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So, how did you adjust to basic training, and how did you adjust to Army life and those things?
I had no problem with it. It was kind of an adventure. I never at any time regretted having joined. I was treated very well. Drill sergeants were gruff, but I never had any problems with it.
Okay. Did you adjust to the food?
Yeah, the food was pretty good. Food was pretty good. Not like mom's, but it was pretty good.
Homesickness?
Not really. No, not really.
Okay.
I was fine.
Okay, so you were a teenager, so the calisthenics, you probably were young, and
I was very fit. I was very fit, probably 160 pounds, svelte, and I never had any problems with the basic training, physical part of it.
Okay. And how did you communicate? Did you communicate back and forth to home during this period of time?
No, I think it was at least maybe 3-4 weeks before we even got a pass off post. Now, prior to being able to go off post, we were able to go to various sites on post, such as what was it? It was like a canteen, not an NCO club, of course. We were privates, but there was places we could go to and had beer. They called it 3 point something or other.
3.2.
Yeah, yeah. We were able to have a beer there, which was all new to me. I wasn't much of a drinker.
Okay. Okay. All right. Did you? I know you mentioned it. That you did. Did you hook up with some people from Detroit while doing this basic? Was it 8 weeks? Basic?
Basic was 8 weeks.
Okay. So
it turned out to be a little more for me because apparently they didn't have enough troops to start a basic training class, and so we were like in limbo for a week or two while other new people came in to come up with the right number to start a class.
Okay. All right.
I ended up doing 6 months in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri. I took basic training the second 8, which was when they would give you what's called an MOS, which was a numerical designation for your job. And so I done 8 weeks basic, 8 weeks second 8, which and then 2 months holdover while they decided where to send me for what reason. I don't know. I guess some folks needed various MOSs throughout the country, and I went to wheel vehicle mechanic school as a basic trainee.
Okay, so your MOS was.
Yeah, it was 6:30, I believe.
Okay, it was wheel mechanic.
Wheel vehicle mechanic.
Okay. Okay. And how did you find this? How did you adjust to this so-called AIT advanced training?
I didn't have any problems with it.
Okay. Okay. You were still a young guy. You were still in that mode of.
Oh yeah, I was fresh out of school, and I'm pretty easygoing, and I didn't have any problems with it. Not at all.
Okay.
I was very fortunate. My second 8 weeks training for the vehicle mechanic school, I volunteered as a driver, and I didn't have to spend not one night in the field, and that was the second 8. I would drive the truck back and forth to the company area and spend the night in the company area so that the next morning I could bring the chow out or whatever.